Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And the date is the 23rd of the 10th, 2020 in Melbourne, Australia, and Steve Jobs is officially rolling over in his grave. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's get straight down to it today, and it is going to be a rant to start off with. And look, it's fitting for this too because we're looking at an app today by a developer named Rob Jackson, and that's what this show's about. I'm going to just preface this. This show's called How to App on iOS. It's about developers, apps, the amazing apps that our developers create for us to use on these expensive, amazing computers in our pockets that we have that Apple provide for us. Now, let's start back here. Let's start with Steve Jobs. I did say at the beginning there, Steve Jobs would be rolling over in his grave, and he fucking would right now, because I was never an Apple user for the longest time. It wasn't until the first iPhone that came out that I became an Apple user. And what it was about these devices that really got me interested in moving all my music creation, everything over from PC to iOS, was the passion that Steve Jobs had. Now, no matter what you think of Steve Jobs and his reality distortion tunnel and the bullshit fabrication and the really angry, aggressive nature of his actions towards a lot of his staff was, take all that out of it. His passion for music was one of the most amazing things about Apple and these devices. It started off at music, with music. It started off with the iPod. Okay, it was all about the music. Whenever, like, when they scored the Beatles back catalogue, I mean, the dude was like fucking shitting in his pants with excitement. Okay, the guy was all about creation. So it sounds like I'm being like, I don't know, a little bit melodramatic, but that's what this show's about. I'm going to speak the truth and from my mind, and I'm going to swear about it too, because it pisses me off, because I'm surrounded by these devices that cost fucking thousands of dollars. Okay, I've invested a lot of energy into this, and I do enjoy using Garageband. Okay, but back in the day when Steve Jobs was still alive, a lot of the staff there, a lot of the developers at Apple were put under extreme pressure to bring out these software updates and to create these devices so that they were up to a standard that he held extremely high. Okay? And it was all about creativity. And when they used to run keynotes, they used to have at the beginning of these keynotes showing, look at all the amazing things that people are creating with our devices. I ain't fucking seen that shit for a long time from Apple in their keynotes. All I see is them fucking pushing their products with fuck all what you can do with them. Just, here's a feature, not much that you can do with it. Here's a feature, not much that you can do. It used to be, here's a feature, and here's why it's a feature. Because the why was the most important thing. So where am I heading with all of this? I'm heading with all of this to, clearly Tim Cook is a pussy, right? And he doesn't know how to drive his teams to actually fucking update their fucking software to be correct. Because iOS 14 dropped, okay? And it's got issues for music creation. And you know who the issues are with? It's been dumped on developers, right? Like, it's all the developers' faults. But it's not their fault, because AUV3 is Apple's fucking standard, right? They fucking introduced it. They are going to fucking remove inter-app audio because they think their fucking standard is good enough. But their iOS 14 update is fucking broken. Okay? So the onus goes on to developers, and we all know developers are struggling as it is, okay? Because everybody's at the race to the bottom. I want it for free, but I want it for free. It has to be free. And I want updates for free as well. So there's all this pressure, and so many developers are just single people making these amazing apps, all right? And sure, you've got these big companies like Positive Grid and that, who are fucking got, you know, apps across PC and Mac, and they've got these huge platforms. They're a fucking corporation. But even those assholes still haven't fixed Final Touch for iPad. Okay? And yet the other developers, smaller developers, have to fucking try and create workarounds to make their apps work on this failure by Apple to release a fucking full-on update where they spent so much time focusing on these fucking widgets. I don't fucking need widgets on my fucking phone. If I needed them, I'd go and buy a fucking goddamn $200 Android phone and piss fart around on that. Okay? So they break a whole bunch of features within iOS for creators, exactly what Steve Jobs was all about, right? Creating. Go back and seriously, after this, go back and watch a bunch of keynotes with Steve Jobs and look how much he talks about creating. It's all about that, okay? And these days, it's not about that. Tim Cook has not a creative bone in his dick. Okay? So, where are we at? Today, Apple, in their infinite... Oh, thank you, Apple. Thank you. Thank you for gracing us with an update after how long for GarageBand. Oh, let's all fucking bow down to Apple. They dump a fucking update to GarageBand and they put a timeline in it with minutes. Ooh! Cutting edge technology there. Steve Jobs is fucking spinning so fast in his grave right now. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. You can hold down the app. You can hold down the actual icon to open up a new project. How many seconds does that save? None. Not one fucking second. There is not one benefit to that feature whatsoever. Okay? Let's cut through the fucking shit. And, 50 fucking keyboards. That's really nice. But there are fucking thousands of apps that have sounds so much better than that. But you know what? You can't fucking use them in GarageBand. Because Apple have decided to corner the fucking market and force everybody to update to this. Now, of course, you may think I'm petty about this, but for serious creators who have workflows and have apps that they use every day, for example, fucking Final Touch, because I don't want to master my fucking music in GarageBand because I have pride in my fucking music and have a great workflow and want to use an app that's fucking made for mastering, right? But I still can't do that. And sure, some of the fault is on Positive Grid for that. But to leave out, like, let's be honest about the problem with iOS 14. The thing that they left out was save states for AUV3 plugins. Save states! Like, how do you fucking just... Whoops, we forgot to put it in. And even up to beta 14.2, they still haven't fixed it. Right, so today it's like, oh, look, everybody, we dropped 14.1's available, and here's GarageBand with a bunch of fucking keyboards and some extra sounds, but you have to update. Because you know what's more important to Apple? I'll tell you, it's not about your fucking creativity. It's about how many people they can get to update to iOS 14 for their metrics base. So when they hold their next keynote, they can stand there and go, look how many people have updated to iOS 14. 98% of our user base has updated compared to Android, who get updates sent out through their carriers. That's all it is, plain and fucking simple. And it's fucking disgusting. It pisses me off because I want to be able to update on my main device that I make music on, the device that I spent fucking $2,000 on, to be able to use all the apps that fucking they shove down our throat going, developers are so important to us. I mean, they hold a conference every year called the Worldwide Developers Conference, where they invite certain developers to come and hang out at their fucking labs and stuff and chat to their fucking, their people there. But at the same time, they're poor developers who are struggling to even make any money from apps now have a resource cut off from them. And look, let's be honest. I speak to a lot of developers through doing this show, and I'm certainly not going to name names in this, but there are a lot of fucking developers who, when they release apps, aren't thinking about GarageBand when they fucking release them. And why is that? Because Apple don't give a shit about it. That is it. All right? And it starts to make me doubt whether, in fact, they are even thinking about Logic for iPad. Okay, because it means they're going to have to, like, put work into it. And we clearly can see that they certainly don't put enough work into their own operating system these days. You know, I've said this before in this show, that one of the worst decisions Apple ever made was putting betas out to the public. All right? The whole concept of a beta is to push it to people who are going to actually test it and send feedback. So by the time you release it to the general public, there's no issues. But they want issues. That's the problem. They actually want issues so you can go to their fucking stores and spend more money. Let's not piss fart around. Now, in saying all of this, I love my Apple products. And this is why I'm so angry. This is why I'm so passionate. It's not because I fucking dislike the products or I'm leaving, you know, I'm not throwing a tantrum going, I'm going back to PC or anything like that. It's because I love these products and I have a whole fucking goddamn studio built around them, and I do a show encouraging people to make music. And everything's not so one-dimensional as just fucking Garageband. I love Garageband. It's up there with one of my most used apps, but it's not all about that. And it certainly isn't to Apple as well, by the amount that they put into updating the app. So if you're like thinking starry-eyed today going, oh, thank you, Apple, it's like Christmas. I'm sorry, you're horribly deluded. And that little fun factor, the little frills on the fucking edge there, they're going to disappear when you fucking create a song and then you try and use Final Touch Pro to fucking master your song and you can't fucking use it. Or you open a project and those AUV3 plugins that you used in GarageBand that actually work haven't saved the states from the last time you used that project. So you've lost all that fucking goddamn work that you put into it. And it's not all AUV3 plugins. Trust me, the only ones it's normally going to affect, sure, Positive Grid are a different kettle of fish. They're a bunch of slack, I nearly said the C word then, slack assholes at times, even though they do make great products. But it always affects the smaller developers because they're only one person and they're already like running at a massive loss to create these apps and create updates and try and keep up with Apple's idiotic system. So there you go. Yeah, runts is the word. So anyway, now that I've had my rant, I'm watching the comments as I'm saying it. Let's say hello to everybody. Hi, how you all going? G'day, yes, in Borthwick, Benedict, Stewart, Scott, Thomas, Tom Michelle, Russ. Who else is here? So there we go. I think that's most of the people. Stu Cash is here as I'm scrolling down the list. I see Pete's not here. He's probably sitting there playing with GarageBand, or he's too scared to come over for my rant. Because I know, look, Pete's a glass half full, and I'm a glass full of truth. Like, and saying that, you know, and look, there's just, like, it just pisses me off because there's so many apps that I use. I mean, I haven't even talked about iSymphonic, the issues with iSymphonic and GarageBand. I spent $250 on that fucking app. And I can't, and if I update to iOS 14, not going to fucking work. Okay? So I can't. So I've got it on my phone. I've had a play with the GarageBand. Keyboards sound great. Everything's nice. Fantastic. Thanks for your token little update, Apple. But how about you spend a little bit more time fixing iOS 14? Seriously. Because, you know, and I'll end on this. Because back when iOS 11 came out, I thought they would have really learned from that. And when was that, 2007? When they released that? GarageBand wouldn't even open for fucking 2 weeks because of the bug that it fucking created. Audio Pro didn't open for over a month and a half, and I was stuck, unable to make any music. When iOS 11 dropped and you opened GarageBand, it just went straight back to home screen, straight back to home screen, straight back to home screen. And you would have thought they fucking seriously would have got this shit right. But it seems like Tim Cook is an absolute pussy and he doesn't know how to get his software teams to actually create a fucking update that works. Too busy creating a fucking bunch of absolutely useless, and I'm saying it again, useless. Fucking, what are they called? I can't think what they're called. Man, I don't want to look at my iPhone and fucking have it look like Android. And that app shelf at the end, at the last page of iOS 14, why the fuck is it there? Why the fuck is it there? Anyway, you know, hey, Tom Rochelle says, by the time they fix all the bugs in iOS 14, it'll be time for iOS 15, and round we go again. But that's where we're at, Tom. That's what happened with iOS 13 last year. You know, and it just seems like they're not getting on top of it. So each year it's getting more and more like that, because they only just got iOS 13 happening only about, 2 to 3 months ago, before iOS 14 dropped. So seriously, and Russ says, deep breaths, Jade, count to 10. You'll give yourself a nosebleed. Man, I wake up with a nosebleed every day because of my health issues with my blood. Oh, I guess I'm just venting, you know, I'm venting as well for Doug over at the sound test room, because I watched his poor stream today, and man, oh, fuck, he is having internet issues. So if you are watching this, Doug, I feel for you so much. God, watching him come on live and then have streaming issues and then restart the show again and restart the show. I don't think I've heard Doug say, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, more times in one fucking hour than I did today. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Rant is over. And, you know, it was fitting the rant today because we're looking at an awesome developer's app today. Another awesome developer who is creating amazing things on iOS. And what is that, pray you ask? Well, that is this app here, and I'm going to open it up and show you here. It's called Moodunits, and it's by Rob Jackson, and it's really cool, and it's for what you get, and it costs money. I know it costs money, but it's not a lot of dollars. This is the good thing about it, compared to a lot of these apps that have additional sound packs and all these. The actual add-ons here are like $1.50 each of them. So who knows, Russ? Who knows? Now, and speaking on that, Russ has just written in the chat here, does it work in GarageBand? There's a lot of developers who, say they don't even try this stuff in GarageBand anymore, because what's the fucking point? So I haven't tested it. Oh, no, I did test it in GarageBand. So it works in GarageBand on iOS 13. I don't know if it does in iOS 14, because on my iPad Pro, which you can see here, I'm still on iOS 13. So now let's start off with this app. So you can't do anything with it when you just open it. Okay, it needs to be opened in a door or in something like AUM, Cubase's GarageBand. So you can't just do it here. But what you can do from here, so there is something you can do. There's a user guide. Look at that. How cool is that? So I always love apps that have a very nicely presented user guide. So what is this app exactly? So it's interesting. It's interesting to describe this app. So it's based on this Waverley Instrument. And so it's kind of, it's a sampler, but it's not a sampler. And it's kind of a replica of an analog synthesizer, but kind of not. Hard to explain. So this Waverley instrument, basically what it does, it's a really lightweight app too. So you can run many instances of it, which is really great for GarageBand. As we know, if you run like 2 or 3 instances of an AUV3 plugin, Apple's standard AUV3 mode, GarageBand goes, AUV3 has crashed. Do you want to reload? I can't fucking deal with it. This thing should work really well in GarageBand because it's very lightweight and it doesn't take up a lot of system process. And the reason for that is, instead of using like modern techniques to replicate these analog synthesizers with all these algorithms and such, this is basically using a sample system. So basically, it's taking samples from these analog synths. I hope I'm getting this right. and I'm sure Rob's going to see this video and let me know if I am wrong here, but from what I understand is it takes samples from these synthesizers, and but it doesn't allow you to add samples, like, because there's plenty of other apps that do that, where you can add your own samples and do all that kind of stuff. So it creates a lot less stress on the app to create many more instances. So in here, here's your instructions. I'm fumbling over my words now after that crazy rant. So basically, when you download it, you get a pack with it with 50 analog synth instruments straight off the bat for free. And then there's another one that you can download for free immediately as well. Welcome along, Pete. You just missed my rant. Probably would have given you a heart attack. It was so full on. You can go back and watch that. You'll love it. As I said, I'll just reiterate for you, you're a glass half full kind of person, and I'm a glass full of truth person. It's just what it is. But, you know, I feel justified in my point. I think I make good points there. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. But Steve Jobs, man, he is rolling in his grave today and thinking, Tim Cook, you are a pussified bitch. So here we go. It's hard for me to let go. So here's all your instructions. So here's the great bit. You definitely get a crap load of instructions to understand how this works. I love that. So also, from opening the app straight off the page here, here's where you can download your instruments. As you can see, I've got all of the packs provided. Thank you to Rob, who's provided me with the app for today and for all of the additional sound packs. So I'm very lucky for that, and I'm very, very thankful, 100% from the bottom of my heart. These developers put so much work into this, and I'm so happy to be able to show this stuff off and have people be able to watch along. So there's all the packs. So you've got a whole bunch of them. You get this factory light, you got these factory analog synths, whole lot of them here. We're going to go through them now. I'm not going to open them in GarageBand today. Okay. Russ says, no one's brave enough to disagree with me. Ain't that the truth? I am a bitch. All right. So I was going to open it up in GarageBand, but you know what? Does GarageBand deserve me to do it? Let's do it. So I do have it opened up in here anyway. Look at that. But it's not running through GarageBand. So you know what? Fuck you, GarageBand. You can sit out for today. We're going to open this up in AUM today. So if you don't know what AUM is, next week I'm going to do a very comprehensive show on AUM because it's long overdue, and it's been one of these things that I've put off for the longest time because it's so deep. You know, there's a lot of depth to this. So basically what AUM is it's a conduit for apps to interact with each other and along with MIDI, and you can output multiple instances of AUV3 plugins, instruments, inter-app audio, and you can send them anywhere you want. It's fantastic. It's a great app. But I'm going to go more into AUM next week. I do promise you that. So as you can see here, I've already opened this up and I've created a channel strip in AUM. I'm going to create another one and show you live here how we do that. So the little, plus symbol here, because I want to run a whole lot of instances of this just to show you how easily this runs. So I'm going to hit the plus sign here. I'm going to click audio, and there's another channel. Let's do another one. Let's just have 3 for now, just to kick off. And up the top here is where you add your inter-app audio or your AUV3 plugin along the top there. Down the bottom here is normally your output, where it's going. And this little plus underneath here, slightly to the left, these are where you add your effects. So you can add effects in there, delays and all this kind of stuff. And what's really cool about this app too, this Moodunits app, is you can open your instrument up the top here, and included in Moodunits is a whole bunch of effects as well, which you can open up in here. But let's open up. So I'm going to go into audio unit extensions. We're going to scroll down, grab another instance of Moodunits. There it is, MU Waverley. So it's going to add that eventually, maybe one day. Oh, why'd I stop that? Oh, come on, iPad. Don't. There we go. Right, so we'll add another one over here. So we'll get 3 of them going. Because what you can do is you can set on each one of them different sounds. So you can set different tone banks out of this. Excuse me. Pete John says, yeah, I think I've made my peace with what to expect these days. Totally appreciate the frustration, but don't have the energy to spare. As always, I'm Switzerland fence sitter. Look, and I do have to say, I still love Apple. It just baffles me that it's gone. The company's gone from we love creators to like sit on this and rotate. It's pretty pissy. Anyway, so we have these 3 setups here. Now you've got volume controls for each of these channels. So I'm going to turn down these 2 here, and let's just open it up, and we can go full screen with this and have a look at Waverley here. So now it's a very basic setup. I love it. Very clean, very simple to look at. You've got your instrument across here. You can flick between instruments with your previous and next there. You've got vibrato. You can change the tone here, the amount of vibrato. Then you've got your amp envelope, filter envelopes, tremolo over here, and pan. Very simple. You know, you can't fuck it up. And that's what we love here. And over to the left is where all your samples are. So, and what's really cool about it, they've all got these little arrows that you can open up and then make it all nice and neat. So we're starting off in the last one here, the Piangatmos is what it is. I feel like I'm saying Futamooch from the young ones. So we've got this big shimmy S here, and I'm just going to hit some random keys, and this is just how nice this sound is off the bat. Just random keys. I'm not going to play anything special. So I'm not even holding down any keys there, as you can see on the screen here, because I don't actually have my camera. Oh, where's my camera? There it is. So we've got it actually running today. So as you can see, I'm not even really playing this keyboard. I'm just hitting. Beautiful, beautiful sounds. So there's a lot to unpack in this app. There's a lot of really cool sounds, and there's a lot of ways you can really mess with them to create different stuff. So let's just hang on this effect, this tone for a moment. And as you can see here, I'm going to click on this plus on this first channel, and we're going to hit audio extensions again. And what this does is when we scroll down, get to the letter M for Moodunits, is that what it is? Yeah. You can see that there's a whole bunch of different settings here, because when I open it up here in the top channel, it just gave me the Waverley Instrument. But now when I open it up in the effects, it gives you like this reverb. We've got a dam limiter. We've got a lag delay. We've got an OR filter, distortion, EQ, compressor, and a gate. So these are additional sounds in here that are really cool too. So let's just throw on something like a lag delay for now and see what it does to this. So it's added a nice little bit of delay, and you can actually go in here and change the timing, so we can stretch that out a little bit. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So you got a whole bunch of effects in here that are absolutely fantastic to play with. Let's bring that back down a little bit. Now let's open up another. So we've got these other instances here, and we'll turn down the first one so we can find a complementary sound. So in here it starts off with a saw. Why do we not have this happening? That would be why I need to check these off. And where are we? We need to go. Sorry, I'm just thinking, not thinking out loud here. Code 49. There we go. We need to turn these on. There we go. And get out of there. Cool, so it's just a saw here. Pretty basic stuff. I don't want that, I want something cool. So we're going to scroll down and have a look at some of these strings. So we've got some vintage strings, chamber strings. Let's have a listen to one of these. So let's take something like that and add an effect in here as well. And you don't have to add the effects that are built in from Moodunits. So you can add any AUV3 effects that you have. Like you can see wider, all these effects that are built in here. There's plenty of them. Let's use some kind of reverb. That would be nice. So then you can bring up your other channel here. Let's pull that down a little bit. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. I'm going to open up a third one here. Let's add some kind of other sound. Let's just find... I guess I better turn this... I'm going to turn these two down. Find another sound. How did we get that into GarageBand? Easy. You just open it up as an AUV3 plugin. It's very simple. Very simple. Just like any other AUV3 plugin Stucash has asked there. So what do we got? Scary Space. Let's give this some volume. Now remember, I'm not a keyboard player, clearly. I'm shit on keyboard. There's no denying it. Like out of all the instruments I've been learning over the last few years, drums has been the one that I've spent most time on. Keyboard, I'm still learning. So, cool. So let's hear what these sound like together. So Stucash asks, how would you move AUM into GarageBand? How would you do that? I can't actually remember. So the way we do that is... it's been a while. Where are we? So, oops, didn't want to do that. It is down here. Now, I think is it mixed bus? No, it's not mixed bus. It's from here, isn't it? It's one of these, isn't it? It's AB output. Is that right? Somebody in the chat help me out. And then you go into... God, how do I do it? I've forgotten. So then you go into app audio. Okay, so if you're following me there, and then I've got AUM port 1. So now you can see Garageband is down here in AUM. So that is now outputting into Garageband. So if I hit record, now we can play that back. So very cool. AUM is a whole new kettle of fish. You know, you can go with things like, you know, you've got two of them. You've got Audio Bus 3 or AUM. AUM's probably more used for people making electronic music because of just the ease of it, and you know the way you can. Let's go back to AUM. Just when you open up your plugin, how you can, you know, shift the size of it, make it small, and just the flexibility of it's much nicer. Or I tend to use for using guitar stuff like bias effects. I'll still use Audio Bus to use as a conduit between, like bias effects into Audio Pro. I still use Audio Bus for that. But for electronic music, and what's fantastic about this, again, you can just keep building new tracks. I mean, I'm sure I could have as many. We could try and push it. Let's just push it real good. We don't want a copyright strike. So let's add a few more of these here. A few more instances of this. You can add shit tons of instances because this is so lightweight. It's beautiful. And thank you, Scott. I did all right, did I? On the fly. Because, you know, I'm not an electronic music creator, as most of you will know. I'm just going to go in here and let's add not only... Oops, we don't want interrupt audio. Let's add some effects that aren't. So let's add the stereo lag here in this one. What have we got? Let's just go through the list here. What have we got? So we've got Eventide, we've got a rotary effect. We'll throw that on there. What do we throw on this one? I'm just randomly throwing shit on. And I can turn these off at any time. That's the beautiful thing about this. So what else can we take from here? Let's take a distortion on this one. So we go. What have we got? Five instances of this running at the moment. And let's hear the three of them. Cool. Let's go and have a look at some other effects in here, some other sounds. You know, you took the words right out of my mouth there, Stu Cash. I was just about to say as I looked up, to smithereens. Perfect timing. So I better turn up the sound on this. And I always forget to do this. I've got to go in here and add these now. So what I'm doing here is I'm routing the these channels to my MIDI keyboard. All right. So as you can see, this patch here, I actually need these to be routed. So these new ones that I've added, they're not routing to my keyboard. Now I need to go to this one and route to my keyboard. Cool. So now they're both working. Right. So we are in track 4 now, and let's turn off the effect for now. And let's go through some sounds here. So what you get included for free, let's just go through them quickly. So there are a whole bunch of saw things. Whoops. Why am I not getting sound now? Did I not route this properly? Man, I'm so shit at this. All right, let's just go with this one because this one's making sound. All right, yeah. So let's go through some sounds here. I've got the wrong window open. There we go. Chaos. All right. So there's a whole lot in the factory light that you get. You can see here there's a whole lot of saws, ready sweep. If you're making computer music, there's Donkey Kong sounds. Probably the volume wasn't. Steve Jobs is still rolling over in his grave, folks. At this tutorial. Oh, fuck. So, I'm just flicking through some stuff here. So this is all the stuff you get for free. A lot of saw versions of trumpets, as you can see. But then you get into the factory. Now, I'm pretty sure the factory stuff that you get is a free download. So don't quote me on that. I know when you actually set this up, one of them's a free download. I'm pretty sure it's this. And again, you've got a whole lot of more frequency kind of bass stuff here, like square tones and all that kind of thing. And all of these, remember, just by playing with all these sounds, you can change them very easily. Yes, and Thomas has mentioned that tone back there was the Windows startup, definitely. Cool. Lots of cool sounds in here. We've got one-shot ping pongs. Back and forward if you were listening in stereo today. Let's pop down to this, what is it? Sinusod. Can't even fucking say that. We've got this. Let's go through some of these sounds because I think we're getting. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I was looking at earlier, putting that on, but I didn't. Let's get rid of this. Goodbye to you. Let's add the shimmer. 4 pockets, shimmer effects. This thing makes anything sound good, really, doesn't it? But where did my keyboard go? Oh, we're back over here. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this. We'll put the shimmer on this as well. I didn't turn that other one down. Oh man, I'm so flummoxed today. What have I done? You know what I really should do is that's why. Yeah, is that right? Oh, fuck, oh, man. Why when I added the shimmer did the sound stop playing? I don't know. See, I'm not good enough to understand what I'm doing with this as yet. Oh, volume in shimmer. There you go. I added strummer. That's why. Oh, man. I don't have my glasses on today. Fuck, I couldn't find them before the show. Shimmer. There we go. That's better. Man, bitch has to get it. I'm trying to add the guitar strummer to this, so let's add shimmer in here as well. Oh man, I searched everywhere for my glasses before we started today, and I just could not find them. Cool. So what have we got? So we got this saw in here, and in this one we have this. So I'm going to pick some random stuff. So we'll start at the bottom actually. Let's go with this fruit loop. Cool. Now I think I've got we've got both of these running at the moment, and nothing in here. That's all good. So let's add these other ones in. Let's get all this going at the same time. Lovely. Man. Thing is, I could get absolutely lost in this. So we'll go down the bottom again. And we are running this one only. Let's try this windswept. Dreamscapes. Just, oh man, anything that's got the word stalker in it sounds good to me. So I'm just running through these bit by bit. This is called disturbances. So subtle changes to each one. Try some Andromeda. So this, the next pack up here is called Mellow Piano. So there's a whole lot of piano sounds in here with other like synth sounds behind them. We're going to jump into this dark mirror. So remember, I have a shimmer on this as well, and I can pull this off. So this is the sound without the shimmer. But you can see shimmer adds so much beauty to things. Such an amazing app, that one as well. What else do we have? We've got a warm plate. So a lot of these have, like, you know, effects added onto them as well. So you got, you know, it's a mellow piano with tremolo pretty much. This one has like a pre, so a build up. It's like a pre-delay. The other sound packs, so this one's an amp synth above this. And again, you get a nice selection of you know, sounds in each pack. And as I said, the packs, so all up, how much does the app cost? So I think US it's $4.99, so $7.99 Australian dollars. And each pack is $1.99 or $1.49 or something in the US. So pretty cheap if you're, you know, you're looking at grabbing this. And as you can see, like, and another really good thing about it, before I show you any more sounds, because we're getting close to the end because of my stupid rant at the start, is if you're running an older device and you want to, like, you know, add some more synth sounds to your Garageband, if you're using that or whatever, and you don't want to use up system resources, this is perfect for that. And it's nice and cheap, and, you know, it's not going to crash your phone. And hopefully, if you run a lot of instances in Garageband, because you can do that too. So let's, just for the end of this whole preview, let's just jump out of AUM and close that out now and go into Garageband, turn on monitoring and all that jazz, and we'll delete this track here. And let's do this from the very beginning. So you can actually add it in virtually the same way into Garageband. So you would add a brand new track, go to your external AUV3 plugins, find the app, glasses. I wish I had my glasses. There it is. Cool. So you can open it up in here as well. And I really love, this is nice too, the way that it's been implemented into GarageBand. So as you can see, all these little panels have been created here. It looks really nice. It's nice and compact. You can't, unfortunately, make it a full screen in like many other, but I don't think you need to. I think this covers everything. You don't need to scroll up just a little bit in this panel. So everything's nice and easy in there. And here's all your sounds. So if we scoot down and grab something like I want something flowy. Let's. So there's definitely a lot of saws and things like that in here, which is, if you're into those, you're going to be very happy. And the other beautiful thing is too, let's remember, so you don't have to use anything like AUM. You can just go into your settings here and plugins and EQ. hit edit, and you can add something like shimmer from here as well. So, you know, it's virtually the same thing. Where are we? Oh, did I go past you? Shimmer effects. There we go. And you can add all manner of plugins. You know, you can add plenty of other effects in here as well to really create a whole lot of different sounds. Once again, you can go into the, and what's fantastic again, as you can see when you open up your audio extension in GarageBand, you get all of these effects that are built into mood units. So we can add, you know, we've got, let's just throw on this lag delay. And you've got all these options too within the effects as well. So you can, you know, change these up. You've got a sync for your delay here and everything like that. Nice and cool. Let's see what that does. What else do we have here? This mellow piano spacey. Man, you know as well as me, I'm shit on a fucking keyboard, but there's a whole lot of potential, a whole lot of great stuff you can do in this app. It's cheap, it's really fun, and you know it's quite limitless, and I assume that running this in multiple instances, even if I like make a whole bunch of duplicates in here, because it's so lightweight, that you hopefully you would not have any problems with getting the whole audio extension. It's crashed. We can't deal with it. This is a perfect app for that. If you've got an older device and you're using GarageBand, and you know you're trying to use some of the more heavy apps that you know. You have to remember too, if you're starting to add in effects like, you know, a whole lot of heavier effects on top of this, then you could get crashing issues. But using these alone, so even if we just close out this and add the basic GarageBand effects in here, like an echo and reverb, just pull these up randomly. You can achieve a similar thing, but probably not as good as something like Shimmer. So I'm going to do a show on Shimmer next week as well, because I love that. 4 Pockets just always make fantastic apps. So we're not talking about that. So look, I recommend this app. I think it's really good. Really, really good. And I'm so glad that I've got to show it all to you today. I hope you've got something out of this. I do apologize for my rant, but it is what it is, and it frustrates me immensely because, you know what? I want to update my iPad Pro to GarageBand, but at the same time, at this time, there's no point me doing it, because if I make some music in GarageBand and then go to master it in Final Touch, it won't fucking work. And that pisses me off immensely. And the sad thing is, as I mentioned earlier, I already know that iOS 14.2 still hasn't fixed these issues. And if we're going to have to wait for Positive Grid to get their ass into gear, Jesus Christ, that'll take forever. Let's close that shit out. Let's close all these apps. Awesome. So that's the end of the week for these shows. I'll be back next week. We'll be back to a usual format next week. There's some interesting projects coming up over the next month or so. We'll let you know more about those as they come to hand, with some music that's being made across a whole bunch of shows and maybe a whole different users and stuff like that. We'll be back to doing an interview format this time next week, so I'll let you know next week who we're interviewing for next week, so that should be freaking cool. God, I've got this screen still up here. Look at that. Look at all these things I have open. How cool was that? See, I had a shitload of stuff running in the background, and it was still running all those instances of this app really well. So there you go. There's a great ad for it as well. So folks, have a great day. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you're watching on the replay, you will see some things popping up on your screen right now with the subscribe, because we just reached 800 subscribers. So thank you very much. That happened last night. Thank you for the support for my video clip and all that stuff. You'll have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next time. Adios, my friends.